I love. I adore. I take the allergy pills. Every night. Yeah. I came here to speak. I was actually coming to talk to him, I can look at him and tell him my story. And he said I can search him or give him to like. No, I don't do the break. I just don't want
What's up?
get free.
I'll put it over there.
It's right here. But I can except the word. So my day is working on my actually I met the down that wasn't in my house. Doctor didn't say no, I get the doctor to so he gave me doctor is trying to work it out. I've been
is speaking at the podium? Is that where the cameras are set up or in the center?
You can go either way, but
Okay.
the microphone is there,
Okay,
but wherever you believe you feel comfortable. I know I don't like being restricted to the podium.
so I can start and I can wander.
Yeah.
I love the red carpet. That was a
Thank you.
really nice touch.
Thank you. That's what I want to do. Give us that, because we deserve it.
We do,
We
we
deserve
do, and
the
we don't
red
do
carpet
enough for
experience.
ourselves. We do for
Exactly.
everybody else.
Exactly. So I'm actually going to get ready to get started like this time,
Yes.
even though it is so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, good morning. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining us for our very first entrepreneur. Before we get started with the entrepreneur founder, publisher of Pioneer Magazine and the brains behind entrepreneur. Yeah. Come on up.
All right.
Hey guys, hey, let's get a little hype. Let's hype it up. Let's go. Maybe we like 1,000 people up here. Yeah. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm reminded of my mentor, right? His name is Brendan Bashard. And so Brendan, he spoke about now, if you don't know who he is, he's one of the world's largest speakers today. He's on a platform just destroying any myth or anything that you may think about the marketplace, i.e., you see these guys that, I want to call out the names because I don't know what to say. I'm talking about that. But you got some of these cats, they just be sitting on smoke signals, or they sell you a pipe dream of some sort. But Brendan talked about, his first event. His first event, let me tell you what happened. Brendan's first event that he held had 7 people in it. Him, his mother, and the hotel staff. So I think we got Brendan B. Can we give it a round of applause for that? Let's say, yeah, we got Brendan B. That's what's up. Brendan, if you hear that, I'm coming at you. No. But no, hey guys, welcome. Welcome to Entrepreneur Speak. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out this morning to come, to show up, to show out, but ultimately to tell your story. To tell your story. Because guess what? No one can tell your story like you. No one can. I can tell you endless stories, countless stories about, I tell you one. I remember one day living in San Diego, California. Living out in San Diego, California, if you don't know, it's expensive and it is crazy cost of living. So one day I'm riding in my little Chevy S10, rolling down the street, Tennessee license plate. Remember that? Tennessee license plate. And all of a sudden, I see these different colors in my head, in my rearview mirror. Please. And he says this to me. He says, well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is I'm not going to give you a ticket for your plate being expired. However, the bad news is GMAC is on their way. They're looking for this truck. GMAC is looking for this truck because I was running behind on my nose for pay. So here I am, I'm looking like, okay, so what does that mean to me? And he says this, well, I would recommend you get everything you own in the vehicle, get it out, because when they take the truck, it's going to wherever it goes. So I said, okay. So I reached in my Chevy S10. You always go for what's in the glove compartment. So I got what was in there that was important. I got what was in the, it don't have a back seat, so I just got what was on the seat, got everything that I had and everything I owned. And I stood on the corner of University and Texas Avenue, holding all my stuff, saying to myself, what the football? I started saying what the football here recently. I didn't say that then. But can you imagine standing on the corner of University and Texas Avenue in San Diego, California, holding all your stuff? So I heard someone ask me one time, they said, I was driving at that time, I think it was a CLS 550 Mercedes. And this kid said to me, hey, I want to be like you. Man, I like that car. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, here's what you got to do. One, you got to go stand on the corner of University and Texas Avenue holding all your stuff. Secondly, you got to go inside a Metropolitan Cadillac in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. When I had a cleaning company, you have to go inside there, bust your butt all night, be hungry as heck, reach into their freezer and grab the tamales you've been looking at for the last 3 days as you've been cleaning, and take them home and eat them. And then you have to go through a crazy breakup, lose everything you have in your house, even your refrigerator, take all your food and put it in the snow for the winter and keep it cold. So if you want to be like me, You got to go through all that I went through to get to that point. So, hey guys, again, welcome. Welcome to Entrepreneur Speaks. The stories you're going to hear today are going to be life-changing stories. We put this together so that you can tell your life-changing stories, so that someone's life will be changed and impacted by what you have done. So I want to thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking the time to come and share with us this morning and networking and getting to know new people. I do want us to do this. You guys get an envelope when you came in the room? You guys got an envelope when you came in the room? All right. Open that envelope real quick. And we're going to say this Entrepreneur's Creed together. That is your gift from me to you, this Entrepreneur's Creed. We're going to state that, and then we're going to move right along. How's it sound? All right. We're going to say it together. I'm an innovator. I see things different. I am committed to the change in my world. There are many like me, but I am uniquely different. I choose to take risks that others don't see. I'm not afraid to lose it all because I see the big picture. I know that if I don't do it, it will not be done. Therefore, I create, I redesign, I develop. I will not take no for an answer because we are entrepreneurs. Let's give yourself a single clap. 1, 2, 3. All right. Valid. Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl. So I'm a little off my game today because Rosie and I came in from Austin last night. Our flight was delayed 15 minutes, and then it turned out to be an hour and a half on the tarmac. Austin was hot, we were tired, and we didn't get in until 11:30 last night. So I apologize for being a little. So I'm Valerie Lavin. I have the honor of emceeing Entrepreneur. I'm also an entrepreneur, just like everybody in the room. I have my own company in tactical gear and supply, and I'm also the founder of Action Zone. With that, I'm going to introduce our first speaker, who is my fellow co-founder, and get much sleep. In case she wants to go back in the corner. We're gonna have her come up first.
Thank you. I am an Italian woman. You can hear me blocks away, and then you'll feel guilty about what I've said to you. So that's kind of what I have to do. So I am Rosie Lee. I am co-founder of Action Zone. My story is that I've had an entrepreneurial mindset since I was very, very young. When I was about 10 years old, the field behind our house was loaded with blackberries. And every summer, my mom and my brother and I would pick all the blackberries, and then we would make jams and jellies and pie fillings. And when all of the jams and jellies were put up in the cold cellar and all the pie fillings had been batched and packaged for Thanksgiving pies, and when we couldn't eat one more blackberry, even though we loved them, we sold them. We put them in brown lunch bags, which I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. 2 cups precisely, my mother counted it out. And we put them on a folding table in our front yard. We lived on a very busy street. So we sold out of blackberries every single day from July to September. I didn't understand it as a enterprise to make money, but my brother and I did realize that we could sell blackberries and get a few treats and trinkets that we wanted to. But for my mother, who was a single mother raising us, that endeavor gave her the extra money she needed at the time. And unbeknownst to me at the time, she was selling those jams. She was taking orders for Thanksgiving pies and selling those Thanksgiving, so she had extra cash to buy us free things from us. That was kind of the spark that made me understand that that kind of money-making endeavor could serve a purpose for me. So I saw the money connection, but I didn't see the bigger connection until much later. I was part of the gig economy before it was even a phrase. I'm pretty old, and there was no thing called the gig economy movement, but I did it. I did it very successfully. And I did it for the same reason that my mother made money selling blackberries. And that was I used the skills and resources at my disposal to help solve other people's problems. When I was in high school for 3 years, I tutored young kids in reading. 11 parents paid me every week for 3 years their children in reading. Great gig, and I loved it. When I got a little older, well, I can't remember what the next one was now that I got a little older, and then, when my children were a little older, two of my children, 7 and 3, I opened a home daycare. And I opened the home daycare specifically for LEOs, nurses, and UPS drivers that didn't have care at night. I advertised at the daycare where I sent my children when I went off to work every day, and 2 others in the neighborhood. I dropped my 2 kids off in the morning, and every single night I bring 4 to 6 additional children home with me. My daycare was licensed by the state. It was facilitated by the Department of Children in San Diego, California, to provide funding so I could provide their meals, and paid for by desperate parents who needed to keep their jobs at night, but did not know anybody that could reliably take care of them. Later on, I was a Tupperware lady. In fact, my good friend Valerie coined it, maybe she didn't coin it, the MLMpreneur. I was the queen of MLMpreneur, right? I had, at my height, I've done Tupperware, Pampered Chef, Princess House Crystal, and a bunch of others. In Tupperware, I had 18 women that were on my team. And I incorporated. I had staff that took care of orders and took care of the things that my business needed to take care of. But more than running as a business and making that extra money, was helping those 18 women who needed to make extra money and to support their own families. My love of people took me to real estate. I got my sales license, and within 2 years, I got my broker's license, and I opened a real estate broker. And I opened that to help people buy and sell their property. But more importantly, I did it because I wanted to help other sales agents be successful, and I knew I could help them. My love of music, and it was kind of a serendipitous opportunity, brought me to a mobile DJ business, which, shockingly enough, did a really good run for 15 years. You can tell I'm introverted and probably have no fun. My love of food, however, brought me to my favorite business, and that was catering and a food truck. And I had a food truck that traveled all over Florida, going to fairs, festivals, and private events. In all of these, there is a common thread. The word entrepreneur in the 13th century was initiated by the French, and it meant to engage in an activity or to do something. And by the 16th century, it kind of morphed into a noun. People like you and I, a person who does entrepreneurial efforts, who has an enterprise. But for me, it was to do something that really resonated with me. All of my businesses solved a problem. Parents who didn't know how to help their children. Workers who didn't have safe, quality care for their kids at night. Somebody at a fair who didn't have a budget coming in for the Friday. Didn't matter. That was when I started seeing the connection between entrepreneurialism, not just as a way to make money, but a way to solve problems for others. It still didn't hit me where this was going to be. Several years ago, I was employed by a community college to help enroll veterans in management program in entrepreneurship. 120 people applied. 40%. I was excited because I knew the struggles of an entrepreneur, and I knew that we could give them the things that they needed to be successful. But what I was not prepared for was the incredible, desperate gratitude of every person I spoke to on the phone because we did this opportunity. I cried after every call. I cried harder after the next 80 that could not be accepted in the program. And that very day that I started making those calls, I knew I was exactly where I was supposed to be, exactly what I was supposed to be doing, exactly with the people I was supposed to be. And I knew that I wouldn't do anything else for the rest of my life. It's that impactful. And I also knew that every entrepreneurial experience I had growing up, all my life, like I said, I'm pretty old, I've had quite a few. It all prepared me for that responsibility. I serve military community members in their effort to be successful after service. I serve them because they serve for me, and that's a debt I just can never repay. When I hang out with colleagues, entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs here, as we tend to do, we end up talking about that entrepreneurial geeky shit that we all love to talk about, right? And inevitably the question comes up, what would you do differently? What would you do differently in the business? And always, some of the questions, some of the answers are, well, how to make more money, right? Isn't that the goal? How to make more money. Some would say, I wish I had really stuck with that idea because I know it would have been successful. And then others would say, why did I crawl down that rabbit hole for that idea? I'll tell you my go-first story. My feeling is if I change things, then maybe I'm not going to be where I am today. And maybe the things that I'm accomplishing now would be considered that I have. But that's not to say that I don't know what I would change, because I know exactly what I would change. First, I would not listen to the naysayers. I know that a lot of them said it out of love for me or concern for my financial future, and I get that. But a lot of the naysayers are saying it because if I'm successful, then it illuminates their inability to take action or to have any stick to it. Their fear. And they want me to be afraid too. If I could change the world, I would stop thinking that my ideas are not valuable because I'm not smart enough, or good enough, or pretty enough, or wealthy enough. Because what I know today is that being successful, especially as an entrepreneur, is attainable by anybody. It is really hard work. Oh my gosh, you have to have so much fortitude to just keep going day after day. We've talked about this, how tough it can be, and you just keep pushing forward. But I would not change because I don't have to be a hard. I don't have to be. I don't have to be the most popular person, and I don't have to be. And I'll let you know the secret. And I think if I could change anything else, it would be that I want people to understand that being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that I am some fly-by-night risk-taking person who's just going to throw all these bizarre ideas at the wall and see what sticks. And we do that. Let's make no mistake about it, we do. But entrepreneur is so much more than that. We take risks after mitigating those, after seeing what the opportunities are, after testing ideas, after talking. But we don't just dive in on an idea, even though from the outside it looks like that, doesn't it? People look at us and think that we're successful. Wow, you were so successful after a year, but they don't see the 6 years of hard work, of picking yourself up by the bootstraps every single time that you fail. And you will fail. We all do. So if you take nothing else from what I say today, take this. Challenge the naysayers. Just don't listen to them. Take risks, mitigated risks, and follow the path that you want to follow. When I look in this room, I see people who can change the world. And with ideas they haven't even conceived of yet. And they'll do it one yoga studio, one HR consultant, one security firm, one caterer, one RV mobile mechanic at a time. All right.
All right, thank you, Rosie Lee, founder of Action Zone. Our next entrepreneur who's going to share their story is Wanda Shaw Cole.
Ask us a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
4 minutes of questions. We get them. Right.
I'll ask the first question because audience what she actually does now. What is your business?
I said I have an entrepreneur support organization for military family members, Find Success After Service. Action Zone is an entrepreneur support organization with very structured curriculum as well as resources, connections, referrals, and incubator and accelerator to help explain business modeling and get their business launched from idea to scale. Next question. That one was an easy one. Don't get me there.
I have a question. Is there a time frame that you all accept applications and what's the cutoff and how long?
The Activate program, which is the early stage ideation, or people who have a business that are kind of stagnant. We've had a couple people that were, one guy in this particular had been in business for 32 years. It wasn't doing what he wanted it to do. He came through our program and in the first 6 weeks of takes you from business model ideation all the way to planning out your strategic growth and wherever that exit is, where you are and where you want to be. Or we have cohorts throughout the year. We take up to 25 people. I can't say no. Yeah, and you have my business card, and I'll give everybody our website address. We advertise the cohorts on our Facebook pages. The next one will probably be in July, early August.
So I have a question. What is, we often ask this question, or people answer this question behind, that's the name, why? But I want to change the narrative and ask, what's your cause? Why do you do this? Because what?
As I said, because they serve for me, and I can never repay that.
And your whole entrepreneurial because.
And I'm entrepreneurial because
No,
Your whole,
you are an entrepreneur because.
I'm an entrepreneur because I have resources, skills, and knowledge that I can help other people become successful. My success is their success. I am fulfilled when I'm able to help someone else take a step up. Because at the end of the day, we're not an island, any of us. And if we don't help each other out, if we don't find ways to use what we know to enrich somebody else, then we are not fulfilling our responsibility to society. My tattoo says you don't believe them. That is loosely translated in Greek means happiness. But beautiful. What it specifically means is finding your utility to mankind. What are you put on this earth to do? I am completely believe that I am one of the fortunate few that found at a very late age exactly where I was supposed to be, exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And that's what we should all be striving for. And then those long days that we talked about, and those, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm in anyway, they become much more bearable when you have that belief that you are on the path you're supposed to be. Put them up because. Does that answer your question? Okay. Probably not very eloquently, but it was a late night.
Very late night.
Any other questions?
For Rosie?
All the businesses that you have, so this is the one that you're most passionate about, about your purpose, out of all of the businesses that you have.
Yes, and I've had a lot more than those that I listed. I think if I had to pick
I wish
two
you
that
would share the GoPro.
they're or the worm farm. The two that I think are more representative of me is first of all, action's always my passion. Helping veterans and military spouses and other military connected people find success after service. I will go to my grave as the best thing I've ever spent time doing. My second best thing doing is being that was the most fun business. Although I have quite a bit of fun at Action Zone. Going up to fairs and festivals with the food trucks is a lot of fun. And it's for me, it's great because I had so much fun doing it, but so many people want to have a food truck too. And I get that same excitement when I'm trying to help them figure out what they have to do to be successful.
Rosie is, only trainer representative for buddy. She underrepresented. She's very fun. Not only did she have half of Italian for the golf thing, moving the people. She
And make you feel guilty, right?
yeah. Continuing down the path of her she ran into several struggles starting their future. So she went up.
Well, I think it's, as I said, I think
Underrepresents herself all the time.
I really think it's important that we know something, it's our obligation to help other people know that too. We can save somebody. If you saw somebody burning in a building, wouldn't you go to a ladder and try to save them? I feel it's the same way with this knowledge and skills and resources we have. We have an obligation, just because we're humans and we share this planet, we have an obligation to them. And if we shirk that obligation, we all know people will too, then it's shame on them because there's a larger number of us that when the end of the world comes, when Will Smith comes out, throwing those guns out, or what's his name, the guy with Top Gun, I can't even think of his name. It's on for his site, just don't go for him. stuff. When they all come down, it's, what do you see in the movies? You see the people that are helping each other, right? They're sharing food, they're sharing resources. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's, I really feel like from a very young age, I had that mentality, still by my mom. But I think as I grew older, things happened in my life. Daryl, I was homeless in San Diego. Absolutely. I don't remember the name of the street, but I know it was St. Vincent de Paul shelter for my son and I. When you know that there are people that are suffering like that, and you've been there, it gives you more empathy to go forward. But you don't have to have been there. You don't have to have been there. You just have to understand that they have a challenge and have to.
Any other questions?
Well, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.
Thank
you.
All right. Our next entrepreneur, Sandra Shaw Cole.
Thank you. My name is Calandra Folds and Shaw Folds, and I have been invited here today to talk to you about why I became an entrepreneur. So I'll start off with the name of my business. My business is Calais Creations. My name is Calandra. My only daughter's name is Layla, and so that's how I came up with Calais. Calandra, Layla, Calais. And creation because I was just coming up with things. I had my daughter at 25 weeks. She was 1 pound, 8 ounces. I went from never wanting kids to how did I get pregnant? Like, how did this happen? Of course, I was married, but how did this happen to me? To begging God to please give me this child. I don't care what comes with it. And needless to say, when you have a child that small, I went to every specialist that you can think of. So getting her to where she needed to be took a lot of time investing. Your kids are the biggest investment that you'll ever have in your life. My only, so I invested in her some limited things. She learned a little differently than other kids. So we would craft. She had a hard time focusing and concentrating, which is no big deal, same here. So I found that she liked to craft. So we would do things in crafting, and I could help her learn to focus. We did candles, we did songs, we even did bath bombs, anything craft-wise that you can think of. I think my daughter and I did it. So we get older, and I still like to craft. And so then what the piece that I've left out is I was active duty during all this time. So I just retired from the Air Force. I've been in the Air Force. I did 24 years. Combat vet as well. And so I started when the pandemic hit. That hits a little different when you're active duty. When you're CONUS or when you're downrange, it hits a little different because we're hands-on and the things that we do are different. Our job is to put our lives on the line for our country. So we got to stay home. Like, promote yourself out of the technical part, and we got to work from home because we didn't want the people that have to go out and fight to be sick. So stay away so that you can stay healthy. Get the next call to go. So during this time, my best friend talked me into getting a cricket. I was like, okay, she's very crafty. I'm crafty, but she's just, in my mind, she's like the craftiest person I know. I do dibble and dabble. So she talked me into getting this cricket, and we, we're going to create things. I was like, okay, I'll get a cricket because I just want to do shirts. I'm sorry. I just want to do cards. I like doing cards. I can do cards. I never buy what I'm looking for after the card. So she buys hers first, and I buy mine. And she was like, oh, let's do these shirts. This was during the time when bad things were happening in the nation. We watched a man literally get framed to death on television. We watched a man jogging get murdered. And so we wanted to do some things for ourselves. So we did a party where we educated our daughters and talked about things that happened. We wore shirts, we made posters. And so she was like, let's make these shirts. And I was like, okay. So I watched tons and tons of videos on how to make shirts with this thing. Long story short, we're gonna fast forward ahead. All of the crafts and things that we did, people would always say, hey, why don't you sell this? I'm like, it's just things that I do around the house. No one's gonna want to buy this, And my daughter and I would do crafts and send it to school for favorite teachers or favorite friends or things of that nature. And so I started creating shirts just for me, things around the house, things that, I thought was pretty cool. And I posted it on Facebook one day. And one of my husband's coworkers immediately called me and she said, I want 2 of every shirt you posted. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate you supporting me. She was like, no, like, you hear me. I want to purchase 2 of every shirt you just posted. I was not expecting that. And I was like, so she was like, so how much are the shirts? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I was just doing this for fun, and that, that kind of triggered that fire because, I've had people say it before, but to literally someone backs you up and say, hey, I want this, tell me how much it is. And I'm dead serious. It kind of changed things for me. So I did the shirts for her. At the same time, I'm practicing. I don't feel like I am good enough that I should be selling it. You're gonna have those self-doubts. I had them. You're gonna be a little insecure with things. I've had them, but you don't let that stop you. So I did the shirts. I messed up on a couple shirts. I just charged it to the game. This is a learning process. So I'm just charging these off, and I'm gonna learn how to do this. And I became really good. And so I started doing other things. Well, let me post this. I did this shirt. I did this glass. This glass is beautiful. And I get like 1,000 hits in an hour. And I'm like, hey, can I have that in this color, that color? And I wasn't even thinking of setting a price for this because I didn't think that, again, you just do things and you don't think that anyone is really noticing and you start publishing it. And then, hey, this is something people are looking for. So I was sitting on the balcony one night, my husband said, listen, babe, you are very talented, and I don't think that you give yourself enough credit for the things that you do. That people are really watching, and people are asking you, you should start to do. And I was like, okay. Right. So I started kind of looking into it, and the orders were coming, but I never posted prices of anything because I'm not selling them, just showing you things that I've done. And so I didn't want to get in trouble. I'm like this scared person. And had a clear side. You always have to do things right because you never want to lose important things that matter and pays the bills. So I looked into it, went to Sunbiz, talked to my best friend about it, and I came up with Calais Creations. And believe it or not, that was the easy part. I wish that I had known about music in the beginning. I didn't, no business skills. Though I've gone to college, everything is IT related, computer science. I just like dealing with computers. I like dealing with reading and not so much the people aspect of things. So came up with Calais Creations. It started trying to grow from there. And like she said, it's hard. But it was the best feeling because this is mine. Calais Creations, Calandra, Layla. In my mind, okay, it's small, but I am going to grow this. This is going to become something that I can do for my daughter. And if we take ownership of it, I realized I gave the Air Force 2. I bust my behind. I gave them everything. When they said, go to Iraq, I went. When they said, go to Korea, I went. Wherever they told me to go, I went. But you know what? I would never work harder for anyone than I would for this. I've had some long days. I've had some sleepless nights, but it's all worth it because this is mine. I became an entrepreneur because I wanted to do something that I love to do and make money while doing it. I heard someone say, if you love what you're doing, then you never work a day in your life. I absolutely love this. Were there times where I felt like, wait a minute, this is too much? Because life happens, things happen in life. I don't know if I want to do this because I'm notorious for falling in love with something today and then tomorrow, not so much. But this is mine, this is me. And if I identify something as yours, a shirt leaves, I want it to be packaged a certain way. I want it to flow. And these are all things that I learned, when watching YouTube and watching videos because I didn't have this. I wish in the beginning that I had entrepreneur speak so that I could come in and learn from people that have done it. You've done it plenty of times. This is my first baby that I started at the end of 2020 and, really jumped into it in 2021. I can leave a legacy for my, I can start something, I can build something, and the talents that I have, I can use. In the beginning, I didn't have anyone to help me start a business, tell me all the things that I needed to do. Or, hey, you have to do marketing or to build your website to do this. I literally had to go online, do a lot of reading, a lot of searching to get these things. So my sister-in-law wanted to do the same thing. And like you said, when you have knowledge, it is important to share. So I was so excited with the things that I was learning. I was so ready to just help you, hey, do this, do that. But you do be cognizant of the fact that not everyone is like that. You find yourself in competition with people that are willing to help, and you're gonna have people that feel like all the money needs to be. So I am thankful that we have this, and I hope that anything that I have spoken about today can help someone else as they take for is.
I'm loving the purple. I had lipstick matches, it's my color.
My favorite color.
Yeah, I thought. So any questions for?
As a first-time entrepreneur and an accidental entrepreneur, which happens quite frequently, or a hobby or a love. What's one do and one don't you would tell? One do and one don't.
Good question.
On the veteran, I think do good action though.
Definitely. Definitely. I would definitely say, do your research. It's easy to jump out there and do it, and don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Do your research for the field that you plan on going in, because there's a lot of ideas out there, and you don't have to create the wheel. If someone has already done it, and it may not be exactly what you're looking for, but it is a start, and it can help. One don't is, don't just jump out there blindly and think you know what people are looking for and you know what to do, because things change often, technology changes often, and don't be alone. Look for help. Find environments like this, platforms like this, and people that are willing to help. Do not sit and fail when you can reach out and help. Organizations like that or people that you know, always seek help. You cannot do this alone. Although it's just my business, I need help. So never be afraid to ask questions and accept help.
Any other questions?
So I know in our paper we talked about base and describe ourselves.
Mhm.
What would you consider your best personality trait that got you through?
I am optimistic. I am, and that comes from my spiritual background. I have faith, and as I walk through this journey, I pray before I do anything, and I know that doesn't automatically mean that things are going to work out, but I always ask God to show favor. If we want to look for a facility, or buying equipment, or investing in things, I ask God to show me favor. So my faith and faith has helped me do that.
What has been, since you started in 2020, started right in 2020, midst of COVID, what were some of the difficulties that you found in getting your name and brand out there?
Finding the right marketing solution. I stumbled across the Facebook and it worked out, and you can use Instagram, but there's so much more that you can do. I wish that I would have had someone to talk to me, because I was wasting like $500 a week on Pinterest, and I wasn't getting what I was looking for. So yeah, that was having patience, understanding, and just using different avenues. I wish that I knew a lot more than I did, but this right here, having things like this is very beneficial. Like I say, I stumbled across it, or even for those that are planning or new to it, networking with people that have done it, and you can share ideas, you
administrators of different, when we tested the marketing market for tactical, bags, we found more traffic. So we stopped paying for things. Now we stop. Back on base. Any other questions? For Clay? Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you all.
Okay, the next, actually, I'm gonna call Daryl up real quick. Share another little story with you guys, but I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
All right. So, you know, I was talking to Rosie earlier, and as we were speaking, she said this to me. She said, one great setup. But then the other thing that I believe it was Rosie that said she liked the red carpet. Because the red carpet is here because of you. When I decided, hey, let's do Entrepreneur Speaks, I said, you know what? Our entrepreneurs need the red carpet experience. Because you know what? No one invites us to the Grammys. No one invites us to the basketball games with the trophy wives and the trophy husbands. No one invites us to that platform. So you know what? You got the red carpet today for you. The red carpet is designed for you to walk on, for you to talk on, for you to speak on, because you deserve it. You put in the hard work. Let me ask you a real quick question. Think about this for a moment. You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to a loud noise called an alarm. You get out of your bed, step on the floor. You take off, you run, you brush your teeth. You do your hair. You look for what you're going to put on, and then you get fully dressed and adorned in your clothing, your uniform, or whatever the case may be. Then you hurry up and you jump in the car and you turn on the ignition and you shut the door and you burn out down the highway going 40, 35, 20. Then if it's a school zone, you're back at 15. And then you accelerate, you jump on the highway, you're like 70 to 110. And then you ultimately pull into a parking space. Most of us have backed into the parking space. I know I used to back into it because my cars were old and I needed to jump. So, but I've learned since another reason why we back into it. But we back into our parking space and then we step out the car, shut the door, walk into space, and we sit there and we grab our computers and we log into the password. And then we watch this guy build skyscrapers. And he builds beautiful homes. And he builds yachts and he lives this lavishing life. Don't that sound retarded? From an entrepreneur perspective, that we go through all of that to pay someone else? That's next to retarded. That's why we have the red carpet. This is why we have the red carpet. Because entrepreneurs is synonymous to being on some type of a drug when you go through all that we go through. We now back into the parking space so we can get the hell out of there and go do what we need to do. Thank you. Thank you.
So Daryl, let's do our hair in the morning.
And if you're getting up at 6, you're already late to the party. Real entrepreneurs up at 4.
All right, so the next entrepreneur is one of my favorite people in the Tampa Bay area, JR McIntyre. He always looks so serious to me, but he's not. They don't say that. They don't say that.
He really is.
Yes, he is.
Good morning, good morning. I'm J.R. McIntyre from Long Beach, California. Put my, I was military for 14 years. I got tired because I got injured in the military. I did 55 months in combat. I learned a lot in the military, how to be strategic, how to be a leader. I got out the ranks as an E7 and I understood how to run employees and people. So take it back further. Growing up, I used to see my grandfather. He was part of the NAACP. He ran for like the Senate in Long Beach, and I saw him do a lot of stuff while being immersed with my mother in videos and stuff like that, I used to see a lot of things go by, and I wanted to say, as a kid, how can I contribute to my neighborhood, my section, and how can I be a voice of where I come from? I always wanted to be able to tell my story as who I am. I never wanted to be nobody else. I wanted to be JR, rough around the edges, understood life a little bit more, or saw all the sectors. First of all, I just want to give honor to God, just being here, waking up at this time, and being in the midst of people that I see. And shout out to Action Zone. It was my very first entrepreneurship in Tampa. We were young, we wanted to go through it. We want to take no for an answer, and me and Remy figured it out. And I want to give these ladies just a warm like love, because they took us in not knowing how. Everybody wants to start a business, but don't know how. Everybody wants to wear the title as a founder or CEO, but don't know how. So they really taught me how to be a CEO. And I've developed myself coming here to Tampa in 2017 and just trying to be an entrepreneur. So I figured out how to go to other entrepreneurship courses, and I started to take my degree at Kaiser University right now. I graduate next year with my master's in business, and I'm completing my doctorate. Not because I'm trying to be different, but I am. I don't want to be another statistic in my area. Where I come from is about gangbanging, LA, Compton, and I've never met a gentleman like myself, other than my grandfather, that can come out of the midst of that and have a doctor's degree. That in theology. I just wanted to just give a real shout out to the veterans in here. It's hard trying to start a business when you get out and you're retired and say, hey, I don't want to sit on the couch anymore. I think that's what Hurricane Maria hit, and they dispatched us to Puerto Rico, and I started Rat Pack Security. Rat Pack Security started off of just we saw a weakness in the security industry, and we combat vets. We wanted to put our foot forward. I was a bodyguard before that. I'm still a bodyguard. I travel around the world, but I slowed down because I'm fixing a lot of things that's going on in my business, but also just the R in my name stands for radical. I'm a radical. I jump off the porch, and I learned that when I was a young age. I was always the youngest or the smallest, running with all the big boys, and I was personally like the person to take up for everybody around me because I was the radical. I didn't care if I lost, win, or if I took the draw. I was out there, and I incorporated that as me. And me being an entrepreneur and getting the opportunity just to do what I'm doing now, I'm pivoting now from actually having physical security to being a consultant and talking about more about active shooter and talking about the mental capacity of being a founder. Because I think that we can have all these courses and have all these classes and have somebody tell us in the morning to go and read and listen to Les Brown and a lot of motivational speakers. But when we get that pitfall, where you go. It's a lot of things that we don't understand, that when you become an owner of your own situation, that is going to take all of your responsibility. When you lose that by yourself, when you win, it's everybody here, but when you lose, nobody there. And I think that we can glorify being that self-owned boss, but we need to also talk about when you take the loss, how do you understand? Get that first door open. When you fall down at your bottom, and what happens when you come back around? I'm in the process right now writing a book called Grind, Grit, Glory. That's just talking about everything I came up with from home nation to the military to Tampa being the CEO. I love being a boss of my own security company. I took a passage out of Bill Gates' book saying that when he started his company, he didn't get paid for the first year. This is my fourth year in business, and I haven't got paid a dime. I'm the CEO. I love what I do. It's my passion. I always wanted to make money, but I always wanted to get back to the people. During the pandemic, Rat Pack created over 1,000 jobs for me. Got the Super Bowl in Tampa, got the Super Bowl in LA, and we continue to hand out licenses. And at my academy, I opened up my academy of security in 2020, and that was my pride and joy because statistically, I didn't see a young African American, not that veteran, having an academy like I had and having given out to thousands and thousands of security guards in Tampa, Orlando, Miami area. I just want to talk about Les Brown. Les Brown, I I listen to him more frequently now than ever, because he talked about this thing called the Chinese bamboo tree. And Chinese bamboo tree, it's a bamboo tree that you plant and you don't see no effort. But the 5th year that a tree is planted, it grows 90 feet. A lot of us is going to get weary when it comes to being an entrepreneur, and it gets emotional, and you get all the statistics telling you that you're not doing anything. You see your numbers, you see your marketing grow, but your numbers, and picking the right employees, and they're not the right ones. So you're going through your journey as that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th year. All of a sudden, that 5th year, that bamboo tree grows to 90 feet. Question is, did it start going the 5th year, or did it go the first 4 years? So you got to think about it like that. And struck me because this is my 4th year of business. April 6th, I shut the company. I got bought it by a client. So I had to develop that mental aspect of getting out of the military, developing business, catching that depression onto that. During that April time to now, I struggled with, I would say, if we would call it writing block, but CEO depression. I had a company I was going to every day, giving employees work, giving people that have potential to be certain directly to my company. I was trusted way before my company had took the audit. I have noticed that they cannot have practice that cannot have close family members because they use your title or what you're doing, who they are, or who you are. So as I was dealing with that, understanding that people have a purpose, but they might be walking, don't know. In the midst of that, God told me, I absolutely move everything around me. And it hurt because I put everything I had into this company. Rosie and Valerie, they could let you know that I was a forerunner, and I was the 3rd highest security company in Florida for 3 years. It feels weird not to get up in my car and drive to my company, not give out to the people. I told them this year I will receive my pension. I think as business owners, our nature, veterans, employees, people who understand business, talk about taxing that boss. The man, everything is talking about sad because ultimately once nobody else. My last thing I talked about is give a shout out to Kaiser too. Kaiser have given me the opportunity to my masters. I don't need no more. Got my associates, bachelors, work on my masters, and I won't get done with my doctors in 2025. But I said, JR, in order for you to raise statistically, keep chasing legacy, not continuing this path, no matter what happens. I'm not an expert. Understand what it looks like. And I'm telling you this, I believe entrepreneur speaks, you should really speak more often. You should really speak more often. You should believe in yourself, even if you don't have to talk to yourself at home, that you're talking to people online, that people on LinkedIn, everybody that know me on LinkedIn, I post prayers, I uplift, not because I'm a robot, because I know the coldest moments get cold. Home jacket is more you get it and Mercedes, she came out, she's an esthetician. She's been with me for this whole procedure, my ups and downs. I go to the patient next week for 5 days again. And just, just pray for your journeys, man. Pray for everything that you got going on. Because when you accept this title, it's more than just, hey, $1 million watches and houses and all that stuff, which I didn't receive that. It's more, I got my ass kicked, and at the end of the day, how do you get back?
All right, any questions for JR? Why is it here that it's R? Any questions for JR?
Jay, having gone through all these, what's your wake up in the morning? Why are you waking up in the morning to keep going about and doing this?
Honestly, it's hard for me to sleep at the home or I'm raising my son. I asked God to let me be a better father. I write my goals down. One of the other goals was, hey, make sure my son can start at about 16. Pray for his moment. The moment happened, my whole world came down. He's him, Jaden, and he's my wife to understand that I don't want them to see saw dad go through the objective of being out of the military. Now they see dad, you don't I'm not 21 days of not hard. I had to play like I was okay because I know well, but my wife, I think kids have, it has always been the future. I want them to see that, hey, dad got his butt kicked, but dad is back up. My thoughts.
What is?
What I need, honestly, Carol's the first person to call me after he saw what happened. Everybody always asks me about stuff. Just put me in the room with the right people. I think the efforts that I put in going to a lot of these network events, I hit rock bottom. I knew that on that you have to switch that. Yeah, this is good right now. But a Google board is more public speaking. So, and I'm open back up my academy so I don't know employees. My downfall was I wanted to be that boss that start major. But sometimes
I have something for, I've walked a mile in the shoe. I understand firsthand. And I'll say, this too shall pass, you know, the struggle, the storm that you've gone through, made it through the storm. Not saying that you're not gonna have any more storm days, but I say, like I said in mine, stay faithful, stay careful. I'm actually working on the doctorate now, and I know that it's very time consuming, having kids and stuff, so I say, keep your head up, stay focused, stay prayerful, and work on time management, because that can kill you. Working on a doctorate, they're gonna ask you 20 hours a week. That's not, I'm asking, that's what, like, what it requires. So, step into that part, but you have to stay faithful and find strength. And you have this network of people, again, network of people, I don't know, I haven't given you my card, but I'll give you my card, because again, the things that you talk about, I've walked a mile in your shoes. Walked in a foot.
I think I'm gonna venture out to be more of a consultant, take it slow. I would say be something. I have a big heart. Someone can do something right now, by the time it's over. And it wasn't lack of that. I would say now is I'm selfish with your time, selfish with networking abilities, all out. Start.
I want to just, first of all, say thank you, because so many times in entrepreneurs, we don't talk about the mental anguish we go through starting businesses, especially when you have staff, and when, like in my case, I have customers, and veterans in my program that I care very deeply about succeeding, and that can take a really big toll on our mental health. So we all need to do a better job about talking about that and supporting each other. And I have people that can help me do that. The other thing is, I want to tell you, one of the veteran business Honda is Charlotte Scales. She has a hot sauce. She said something that I think might really help you and everybody else in that room. That is, rock bottom has a trampoline. Rock bottom has a trampoline. You just got to get back up, and you will. And I know you will. So thank you for sharing.
So also that platforms that not ignoring, especially when it's attached to running a company or business. And being on top of that, it's just so much person. I still live in these type of medications. And when I started my company, so like it seemed like I brought more to that side. Been very unhealthy. My diet changed capacity. I saw myself being more aggravating around sort of issues. It also would open up and got me to the place where I was raising myself. No kid needs to go through the issue that I saw my mother go through. She didn't know what she was going to take it out on kids. I find myself coming home sad, mad, you know, all that deserve. So I did the thing. I told myself that I was going to take that 2000. That's a big thing. That is a shame. I think that one project needs to happen. Talk about it. And becoming a founder of pitfalls. So everything you got at it. Not a whole bunch of Thank you, girl. Reach out, please. Told me that you come to speak. I don't think I had a choice. He also got me with the NAACP, so I appreciate that. But he's like, come to speak. And I was like, am I? He was like, yeah, and just be ready. It's June 11th. That was in the April, beginning of May, and I was like, I'm not ready because I don't love that. But I'm building my confidence back.
Rosie and I have watched their all right, our next speaker, Martika Jones.
Hey, everyone. I'm another one of Daryl's victims. Being dragged out here. So all the speakers have been great. I'm a little shy. This is my second speaking that I emceed for Daryl's. Yes, you pitched competition last year, and it wasn't horrible. So
If you start there, you're great.
yeah, exactly. So I guess it's only up from here. So I'm Martika Jones. I am the founder and CEO of Bloom Co. I co-founded that with my husband. It's a creative agency. He's an artist for 25 years, and we're both graphic designers, and we provide some marketing. But we also have another company called Boot, which is our technology digital business card company. So right now everybody can use our digital business card, but we actually have a niche focus with real estate agents where we're helping them improve their follow-up with just a simple CRM method. So there's a little bit of background on me. I'm originally from a small town. You may have heard of it. History is called Pittsburgh, Mississippi. And yeah, there's really nothing to do in that town. But that's where we grew up. I lived with my grandparents and my mom as well, but we didn't have a lot. It was just it was very small family, and but we loved each other, right? We didn't have a lot, but we loved each other, and we were very supportive. But I always felt like, just like my mom, I felt like I was kind of like the black sheep of the family. I was like overly ambitious. I always wanted to do things. I wanted like the latest stuff, and my mom, bless her heart, did whatever she could to get it for me. I was like, Mom, I want this, every new shiny thing. But then I found out that I did have a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit as a child. I would go to school, like those little Kia Phones, like all the sliding phones that I had. Okay, it was crazy. Like I don't even know how she did, but my mom made it happen. And I would have a little Nike bag on and I would be at school, like, when I have a new phone, I didn't have a use for the old ones. I was just hoarding everything and then I would sell them at school and I think it was in fourth grade, my teachers were like, so like pissed off. With me. What are you doing? We're like, what are you doing? Or she's like, hey, going back. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. So I did a lot of reselling just off of that. And then my mom showed me eBay and a few things. And then I was like on there, I was like the eBay queen up until about, I would say maybe 11 or 12. So this is where my journey changes a little bit. I come from a musical family. My grandmother played piano in the church. My mom was a saxophonist. And, I wanted to do something in the band. Well, at the age of, I think it was between 11 and 12, I got to do a little test. And it was like, oh, you're either going to play trombone or clarinet. And my mom was like, you're not bringing clarinet house. So I was like, well, trombone it is. I fell in love. And I can't tell you, I practice, I can clarinet, I practice more than I study. I practice 7 hours a day. I listen to excerpts. I love everything about music. That was my life. That was everything for me. And I think by 13, I became a prodigy in music. I don't like using the word, but everybody was like, you're a prodigy. I was able to outplay in my first year playing. I was able to read several clefs. I was able to play trombone solos that not even high school senior, even college. And so from there, I got to compete. I did Lions Band. I made good chair Lions Band. For the most part, I was always first chair. I was super competitive. And the biggest thing that I had to overcome was people saying, that's such a boys' instrument. It's bigger than you. Like, what are you doing? Why are you playing trombone? But I would, just like you were saying, don't listen to the naysayers. I was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be, professional. And so I was accepted in the Interlochen Arts Academy in Michigan at the age of 15. I then went on to Montclair State University in New Jersey, where I got a scholarship, and I got to have a Juilliard experience without having to pay the Juilliard tuition, right? Which was nice because a lot of the teachers taught over at Montclair as well. So my professor and personal instructor is the associate principal from the New York Philharmonic. And so we're very close, and they've just been nothing but that. But during all of that time, I was doing other things. Like I dabbled into makeup for several years during my musical career, and so I would make YouTube makeup tutorial videos, things like that. I'm not wearing that much today because I'm like, doing the lazy girl with it. But I don't do that much anymore. But that was one of my biggest things. I love makeup. I love doing tutorials. I became an influencer, which got me into influencer marketing. So I became an influencer. I did all this stuff for different brands, L'Oreal, all this stuff. And I love it. I had a blog. I was able to make extra income on the side of that. I was trying to build out my freelance career. Fast forward to 2017. I'm with my fiance, now husband at this time. I gave him an ultimatum because he was so and I was like, you're moving up to New Jersey. So he was up there for a while. We wasted a year, my final year in college, for my bachelor's degree. Then I graduated 2017 May, and we didn't look back because it was not sustainable for us to be up there. We weren't making like the amount of money that we needed. He was working long hours while I was finishing up college, and it just wasn't our scene. Like we were missing home in the South and everything, and we were very homesick. So I finished up. We literally, I kid you not, we were selling everything in our apartment. We had our bags packed. We grabbed the cat. We were in the car, and I kid you not, the next day we were gone, and we actually had to stop and sell his car because his car ended up getting water damage or something. So we ended up having to sell it while we were trying to move out. It was great. It was the wildest stuff ever. So that was probably like our biggest defeat because we lost like all of our money up there. We weren't making enough money for what we were spending, and it happens, right? So that was a big thing for us to come back. So you have everybody come back home, and they're like, oh, in small towns sometimes the mindset will be like, oh, you're home. Like, oh, I thought you were doing big things in New York. And so I had to deal with all of that talk, right? And opportunity out here. I found an opportunity out here where I could work with one of the Latin centers, and I was being groomed to open a franchise. And I was like, oh, I really love the energy, the environment. I want to own a franchise. I was being groomed for that, and then I guess some franchise owners, they get really competitive. They start feeling some type of way, and they see like, girls love me more than them. And they're like, you know what, I'm not really sure this is a great idea. So I felt like I got cut off. And I decided at that point, was this 2018, that in the fall, I was going to go back and get my MBA. And because I wanted to do something important. Like, oh, no, don't do that. I'll help you out. You'll be able to do it. And I lost trust and faith at that point. So I went to an open house at the University of Tampa, and I told them my idea, my big dreams that I wanted to do. And they said, you sound like you should be at the entrepreneurship program. So, and I was like, oh, there's an entrepreneurship program. So I went to the MS Entrepreneurship open house, and they told me to just do a video, do my pitch, and see if you get accepted. And I did. I got accepted to their fall, actually not the spring cohort for 2019. And yeah, and they took me from ideation to implementation. I was able to start our first company there, which is called Launch. It was going to be an AI-powered platform to matchmake micro-influencers and brands together. Micro-influencers have just as much influence as these celebrities, and actually better engagement rate. So we started that company, and I quit my full-time job. While I was there, I decided to quit my full-time job to go on a whim, convince my husband to quit his full-time job and go on a whim. And that was definitely a multiple, that was an interesting journey for both of us, because now he's getting to experience this with me. And we did that. We brought on a partner with us, our CTO at the time. And then after about a year or so, I think that's when I met Daryl, because our company ended up turning into a BioLink platform that ended up ultimately working in the booth. But I met Daryl probably a few months before our company right? Yeah, our first company. Yeah, so he did a article on me. I was in his first Tampa Pioneer magazine, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad you guys are writing about me while we were doing like falling apart at the same time. But we were trying to make it through, trying to keep the company afloat. But sometimes partnerships don't work out. So I totally get where you're coming from when it comes to having to like dissolve your company. You were surrounded by people that you don't like you trust, and it just doesn't work out. But at the same time, that was a huge turning point for me. And it just gave me such confidence in myself, and made me think about, okay, I need to really think about me. I feel like I needed all these other people to be around me so I could get my company. But at the same time, I don't know, I just felt like I had a lot of confidence. So resilience is huge. Like that's one way to have these supports. Things like this happen. I thought this would never happen to me. So after that, we dissolved the company, and I would say probably in a month, I got one of my best friends to help me with the web development, and George came on and helped me, and we were able to rebuild the company. We did more in 2 weeks than we did a year and a half with our company, and that's when we started. And so ever since, and I got different partnerships and stuff. Actually, the University of Tampa became a customer, and I got to speak. Thank you. Yeah, so I got to speak at their. It's weird being speaking in front of the master's program that I was in and graduated from, and passing out their boot tags and talking to them about the importance of networking. And yeah, it was definitely a blessing. Constantly growing now. We're still very young, but I just wanted to share that story with you guys just because, and also show you that you can still do it. It's like I'm 27 now, so I feel like a lot has happened just in this short amount of time, just turned 27. But yeah, it's been a great journey. Like, I think that's the biggest thing is just enjoying the journey, right? Just think you're gonna
I think that's so powerful to further your everything is very changing. So what are your questions for Martina?
So what exactly is the types of work, I guess?
So, this initial business card, so usually I'll take you for a quick journey. So, if you go to the website, you're able to sign in, you're able to build out your profile, like profile picture, your V card, where you put like all the information that would download into somebody else's phone, your contact information. You can have any links that you want, YouTube videos, things like that. And if you're looking for like certain branding customizations, there's a that's a free version. But so essentially, it's a NFC product. So what you would do is you would tap it against my phone, think Apple Pay is networking. And then what will happen is this is my business card. Mine's a little bit plainer, but see, it has my picture. I have like my email, so you tap and email me immediately, call me, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you click here, it'll open up like the contact section, save me into your phone. And then I have an exchange contact button here, which is like if I want your information, you click exchange contact, put your name and phone number in, and then it goes into my dashboard back on the stats button. And obviously I have like my links and I have a QR code if for whatever reason, somebody's NFC is not on or doesn't work. You want to not have that awkward moment, so you're like, no problem. Or have them scan it, right? So yeah, and then I have like my YouTube video from the university. Yeah. Yes. So what we do to make sure that like everything is nice and secure is we lock every single thing out of like program, so they're locked, so nobody can mess with it. Also, and then also means that you can mess with it. So we don't have anything where you can like extract data from somebody else's phone. All you're doing is giving whatever is on the program to go to your date. You can't change it, right? So, and everything that's in our dashboards, so there's no extraction of data, and the only data you're really able to give is this.
Any other questions?
What frustrates you the most in doing business and/or in being this entrepreneur? What frustrates you?
Frustrates me the most. I would just say, so I would say the inconsistency. What I'm experiencing now is really like pizza. So like when I wanted to, help everybody, for example, like, realtors, there's a fluctuation. So like, we have, one of the things about entrepreneurship, this is what I'm still getting used to, getting out of like a stable situation and then dealing with, oh, wow, we made all this and now we're able to like start paying bills with it. And then now I'm back to paying my company's bills. So I think that is the most frustrating thing for me right now.
So much, Martina. Great. Yes, you. And I did, Google research on except I did not know that it's a learn something new about the other day. But Martika specifically, I was like, wait. And then, the tech kind of idea that's awesome. I think that an individual's entrepreneurial journey is sometimes so unexpected, and that's the most fascinating story. Carol, come back up and
Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up to all of you. Let's give it up to our entrepreneurs. So again, this is your platform. This is your platform to tell your story. Go out and spread the word. Go out and tell others about Entrepreneurs Speaks. Tell them how you told your story. The objective is, once you tell your story, is that someone else can be inspired. Someone else can move. Someone else can get up from where they're sitting and ultimately do something and not continue to say, I think I can, I think I can. We're here to tell you today that you can do it. You can do it. And then there was another thing. I asked each one of you guys to put down those 3 words, or you went around and asked someone what was their 3 words. What I'm gonna go so far out and ask you now is to live those 3 words. Take those 3 words. This is from my mentor. I took it from him, Brendan. Take those 3 words that define you. Put them in your phone. Put them in there as an alarm clock. And when the alarm goes off, say those 3 words out loud to yourself. If you're by yourself, you don't want people to think you're crazy. And if you're around others, just kind of say it to yourself. My 3 words are caring, understanding, and reasonable. Every day at 09:30, my alarm clock goes off and I say that, so that I can live my day according to those 3 words. So I want to, before I let you all go, I want to, well, everyone get their tickets out. Everyone get their tickets out. Everybody in here grown, right? Yep. All right, we're all grown, so I ain't got to worry about what we're giving away to thank little kids. Yeah, they're not coming out there the way I need. Just shake it up a little bit more, but no. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We got Val's gonna pour that ticket out. And we got something. Yes.
I think what you did today was absolutely wonderful. And what may have birthed out of this entrepreneur anonymous space from the young man that was speaking, share for future events that you have. It's a safe place to come, talk about the frustrations, the anxieties, and things that are, like you said, the peaks and the valleys, so on and so forth. To share, hey, I'm having some bad days here. I want my house. I want to get out of bed. So just another thing to put on your resume there as far as what you're doing. That it's a safe space.
Thank you.
Yeah, the entrepreneur journey is tough and hard. Daryl asked me to share my story, and not today, because I wanted it to be like, anyway, we did very, very well. Like, Daryl, it is important for entrepreneurs. Myself to share the load. Entrepreneur founder sexy right now, but there's no sexy about it.
I go on and on with stories. We all can. So before we do that, get your tickets out, get your tickets out, get your tickets out, get your tickets out. All right, let's go. Ticket number 956
Glasses.
0 1 3. That's you. All right. There you are.
I open it up and show everybody.
You can, if you like. Yep, you
John
can.
gave away weed. That's why never.
Whoa, that's wow.
Yeah.
For a serious drinker. Yeah.
This is a. Oh, no, you know what they might say. That was probably in the bag.
You got it. Right after we got it.
I give a gift too. Oh, all right, yeah. There you go. Thank you. Enjoy that. Because you know, as an entrepreneur, sometimes we gotta wind down.
Yeah.
So that's the metaphor behind the wine. But no, thank you all. You guys can remain on board, Valerie. Thank you. She's my new improved battle buddy. Me and her, we ride and die together since we connected. So again, everyone, out there that's watching and will be watching, want to say thank you all. Thank you for representing Entrepreneur Speaks. And sign up so that you can tell your story. If you know of anyone that you think, have them go to the website, www.switzerhych.com, and you'll find the link to sign up at switzerhych.com. Thank you all. Thank you. All right. Thank you. You can have that food back there, please.